I think that it's crucial to mention that since it is an industry of health, just getting it out there with Cosmoetica to sort of rile the youth is a good thing, and that's sort of what you've done. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking. But do you know of anyone that actually does that in any domain at this point? It seems like all of the intellectual industries are driven by health to some extent.
Well, another thing.
Society seems to sort of, you would think in terms of human evolution, to be moving away from health instead of moving closer towards it.
I was talking at this lunch about the movie Finding Vivian Maya. Jessica, I'm sure, has talked to you about this woman who was a nanny who for 40 or 50 years took photos, and she sent around, I guess, to a number of galleries, not that many, maybe a dozen in her lifetime, and no one ever accepted her photos. Then she dies. She's found. This guy, John Maloof, and a couple of other people have made some good money off of her photographs, and now the state of Illinois has somehow anointed itself the executor of her estate, which I don't get. If she left no one as an executor, it should fall into the fucking public domain so that everyone can use it. But I've got this feeling. It's like, well, someone years after I'm dead, even if, let's say, in 5 or 10 years, a few plays of mine got produced and one went to Broadway, and then some of my books got published or whatnot, I'm going to be close to retirement, so the money to be used for any way to give me more time to write has long since passed. But, why should someone in 40 or 50 years from now, after I'm dead, take my plays and have a Broadway hit and make money off of it? I mean, and it's not the money thing so much, but that to just exploit things to such a degree. Why is Vivian Maya's photographs only in galleries now? Anyone who has any idea about visual art could have looked at that and seen that. And yet I've been to galleries, I've seen many photos, many paintings, and most of them are shit. Jiwei too, who I did the interview with, the Dan Schneider written interview with. Jiwei too, if you look at his paintings, I still remember when I went to the gallery with Jessica, I'm walking and seeing a lot of these Texas, landscape paintings and horses and cowboys and whatnot. And then I saw this painting. I forget which one of his was. It might have been the guy, a man in a rain jacket, or it might have been the one with a little girl. And I remember it was like a Hollywood movie. Zoom. I walked and I said, that's it. That's great art. It struck me instantaneously at the speed of light. I knew, wow, this is so far above these two paintings. They have so far above. Why doesn't that happen to other people? I mean, I'm not superhuman. I mean, I have great talent, but I have trained myself. But why are so many other people so reluctant to want to stand up for great art, to look at this stuff and say, oh, but they don't have that ability, certainly, but it's not something that should be that. I mean, if I sent around, for example, Janie Fitz, this is a play that is a titanically great work of art. It's not in a league with a Norwegian in the Family. It's 23,000 words. So it's 110th or whatever the length of that. And novels are more complex than any drama can be. The longest drama that I did, the second play, which is 59,000 words, if I do a 60,000 word novella or a short novel, the novel is going to be more complex. That's just the nature of the art form. But how do you read such banal writing? Again, I was talking about this, about nowadays at the high school where I work, these kids will read books that I was reading in 3rd or 4th grade. 16, 17-year-olds, they will pass English classes by reading books that I read in 3rd or 4th grade 40 years ago. And I'm not trying to say everything was great 40 years ago, but it's just amazing that this is what's considered. This guy, Amanda's husband, who's a teacher, was saying how, yeah, he gets kids in this college that he works at that are in college and they can't spell, they can't use even basic grammar. Why it's ridiculous. But there's no reason that anyone should. A guy emailed me about a week ago. No, was it a week ago? There's a few people who've asked to see a Norwegian in the family. This so-called greatest novel of yours, but they're a bit nicer than that. But so I sent them the book, and I said, well, this one guy says that if he thinks it's great, he's going to. I don't know if you've ever seen. Apparently, there's a YouTube book review channel called Better Than Food or something, and apparently it gets millions of views and whatnot. And this guy knows the guy, so he says if he thinks it's worth it, he'll try to contact this guy to sort of review this book, even though it's not been published. My Norwegian in the Family book. So who knows? Maybe that could be something that gets the attention of someone if this guy has a fan base in the publishing industry. Who knows? I doubt it, but it's like, how could you not, just opening randomly in the 72 or 7,400 pages, 7,300, whatever it is, just read any 4 or 5 pages consecutively and not say, holy fuck, this is far beyond. There are no 5 pages in anything written by James Fry or David Foster Wallace or Dave Eggers or the usual suspects, Thomas Pynchon, that we ever talked about, that is equal to any 5 pages picked randomly from any of my great novels. Even the earlier ones that are not as complex, a little novel like The Onely or the Enquediad is still far above anything these idiots do. How do you not see that? Because you have a system that has not only doesn't know what good writing is, but has actively promoted bad writing, as I showed in that video that I did on bad writing. The stewed cherry dress, this terrible metaphor, because it's based on the smell rather than the sight, and it's not synesthetic, but it's the opposite. It totally gets away from any good metaphor. This is held up as good writing.
Destructive.
What?
It's also very disjunctive, that example given.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention too, since you're talking about sort of having a trained eye, I knew after the credits rolled in Norwegian and through the first chapter that this was going to be a different kind of greatness that I was reading.
You have a light shining on you, Peter. It doesn't matter to anyone watching, but there's some light that's shining on you. It's like you're a Borg from Star Trek or something. Anyway, go ahead.
My identity has been revealed
at
last. But I wanted to mention too, in regards to that, I think it's partly to do with ability, but again, I think you hit a point with they just don't have a trained eye for it. When I was in the art museum in Toronto, I saw some Picasso and Degas and a few others, and those were clearly great paintings. I could get a lot of them. I would take the time to absorb them. But I noticed as I was walking through, there would be lots of shit. I saw some Rodin as well that was quite good, sculptures. I noticed people just looking at these abstract expressionist paintings, or just basically a bunch of lines and monochromes. And they were they had to be standing there for 5 minutes while I was going through other parts of the gallery. I think that if they spend that amount of time on an abstract expressionist painting, they don't have any kind of trained eye. And I think that's most of society. The abstract expressionist painting compared to, say, Guernica is no difference to them.
Well, that's because people tell there's something there. When I hear abstract expressionists, they'll say, well, this woman Amanda, for example, was talking about Yoko Ono as a performance artist, and I told my famous story about Ono and the bitten into apple and the dot on the piece of paper, and some people will say, well, they look at a Rothko painting and, oh, I feel such emotion with the colors. Well, sorry, look at Frederick Edwin Church. You'll see the same colors in a church painting, but the church painting is infinitely more complex, infinitely better. There's a narrative story that's going on there, but even if putting away the non-narrative stuff, there's an emotional impact that you get from the famous painting of the icebergs or the volcano, but people don't know how to do that.